You are listening to Housekeepers Chat by the United States Department of Agriculture from 1926. Disclaimer: this is read from a historic archive document. Do not assume content reflects current scientific knowledge, policies, or practices. This broadcast was aired Friday, 22nd of October, 1926.
Well, Queen Marie of Romania hasn't called on me yet, but I haven't given up hope. When she receives her copy of the radio cookbook, including directions for making Peach Dainty, she may send me a copy or the king's favorite recipe. If she does, I'll tell you about it. I heard of a king once who ordered spare ribs and sauerkraut to grace the royal board. What's that? You like spare ribs and sauerkraut? So do I. Next week, I'll see the recipe specialist at the Bureau of Home Economics and find out how she cooks spare ribs and sauerkraut. She has promised me some up-to-date recipes for peanut brittle and popcorn balls next week. Yes, for Halloween. Perhaps I can give you something extra colorful and attractive for Halloween this year. Speaking of color, ever think how much it has to do with the attractiveness of food? I have an artist friend who can't bear to see beets and carrots served at the same meal. The color combinations is too much for her sensitive soul. There are many ways of making plain foods attractive, without using artificial color schemes or going to any extra work. For instance, salmon and green peas, or a slice of red tomato on a cottage cheese salad. Don't you like the color scheme? Let's mention a few of the simple ways of touching up dishes with bright-colored foods. First, there's parsley. A few sprigs of green parsley, or a little chopped parsley, add a delightful freshness to mashed, boiled, or riced potatoes, creamed meat and vegetable dishes, and croquettes. Second, red radishes, with the skin peeled in strips, brighten up a colorless dish. A dash of paprika adds color too. Ever use paprika with lemon? Slice the lemon and sprinkle the thin slices with paprika. Finely chopped parsley on slices of lemon is also an effective garnish. Sweet dishes sometimes need only a touch of whipped cream, a preserved cherry, a strawberry, or other bright fruit to make them very attractive. Stiff jelly, cut in fancy shapes, is also a pretty decoration. It's a great business of planning meals. There are so many things to take into consideration. Let me read you something I saw in a magazine last week. Here it is. We think of meal planning so much in terms of vitamins and minerals, protein and calories, that we forget it may also mean a skillful combination of flavors and textures by which the appetite is whetted and satisfied without danger of overeating. To have attractive, pleasing meals, then we must consider texture, flavor, crisp, some juicy. For example, we relish a crisp, juicy apple with sandwiches and other soft foods. We like crackers with soft cheese. We all have favorite combinations of food so far as flavor is concerned. In general, foods of delicate, distinctive flavor, like fresh green peas or spring chicken, should be used so that we can get the full benefit of the flavor. Such foods as cabbage and ham, which have pronounced flavors, can be served with milder flavored foods, such as potatoes. The first question today is from a housewife who wants directions for cleaning walls and linoleum-covered floors. She says someone told her to clean the wallpaper with bread dough, and the results were nothing to brag about. I've never used bread dough on walls, so I can't argue for or against it. I wipe my walls frequently with a broom, covered with a Canton flannel bag. A long-handled soft brush, or a lamb's wool brush, just for walls, would be even better. Use light, even, overlapping strokes so you will remove the dirt rather than rub it in. Subsoiled places over radiators, registers, and stoves lightly with cotton batting. Change the cotton when it becomes soiled. Wipe glazed wallpaper with a cloth wrung out of warm, soapy water. Be careful to leave no moisture on the paper. It seeps in at the seams and loosens the paper. Floors covered with linoleum, oilcloth, or cork carpet are fairly easy to clean. Dust them with a dry mop or a covered broom. Sweep with a soft brush. Wash with a cloth wrung dry from soapy water. Dry thoroughly with a clean cloth. If you use too much water, it will get underneath the floor covering and gradually rot both the covering and the floor. Never use cleaning powders on linoleum. The next request is for information on canning vegetables at home. Sorry, but it's too long to answer over the radio. I'm sending you a bulletin, Canning Fruits and Vegetables at Home, which will answer your question and give you a great deal more information than you asked for. See below in the More Information section for a link to the bulletin. We seem to be running to house cleaning today. A listener in Missouri wants a reliable method for cleaning woodwork. To clean painted woodwork, use a cloth well wrung out of light suds, made with neutral soap. Don't apply the soap directly to the wall. Soap softens the paint and dulls the finish. I might add here a word of caution about cleaning enamel-painted woodwork. Use hot water. Hot water dissolves the grease, frees the dirt, and doesn't hurt the glass. Soap dulls enamel paint. How can I get rid of cockroaches is the next question. Cockroaches and water bugs, they do add to the housekeeper's worries. Cockroaches are usually attracted by dampness, bits of food, and trash of all kind. Sprinkling sodium fluoride where these pests hide is one method of extermination. Another method, I'm giving you your money's worth this time, is to put daubs of phosphorus paste on the inside of small tubes of paper. This method is especially good because it keeps the poison away from children or household pets. Now, before I give you the menu and the recipe for Peach Dainty, how would you like to have a recipe for chili sauce? You may use small, imperfect, or crushed and broken tomatoes for this sauce. It's a good way of using up the last and sometimes even color combinations. We are more likely to eat the foods our bodies need if these foods please the tongue, the nose, and the eye. We should plan to have foods of different texture in our meals. Some hard, some soft. Some of the ripe tomatoes. The ingredients are, do you have your pencils? I'll read slowly. The ingredients for chili sauce are 4 quarts ripe tomatoes, 4 green sweet peppers, 4 tablespoons brown sugar, 1 hot pepper, 4 onions, 1 tablespoon ginger, 2 tablespoons salt, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, and a half teaspoon nutmeg. Chop the vegetables, add the other ingredients, and cook until tender. Add 2 cups vinegar, boil 5 minutes, and seal. If you don't like this combination of spices, try 1 tablespoon celery seed and 2 tablespoons mustard seed instead. Now we are ready for the menu. I told you it would be good enough for Sunday dinner. In my recipes, I usually give you proportions for a family of 5. So if you expect Uncle Charles and Aunt Elizabeth over for Sunday dinner, you'd better add more to my recipes. The menu for Sunday is veal pie, Harvard beets, string beans, fresh or canned, crisp lettuce salad, and peach dainty. As you probably know, still there may be some young housewife who doesn't know, veal is the meat from calves. It contains less fat than beef, so salt pork or fat bacon is often added to it. Veal contains a large proportion of connective tissue. Consequently, it should be cooked longer and more slowly than beef. For the veal pie, select a piece of veal and cut it into small pieces. Besides the meat, you will want these ingredients: an onion or 2, sliced, raw celery, chopped fine, potatoes, cut into small cubes, some green vegetable if possible, for instance, a few lima beans, or some sliced green pepper, or okra, boiling water, flour, salt and pepper. Sear the meat on all sides in a hot skillet with the sliced onion and chopped celery. Then place in a saucepan with the potatoes and other vegetable. Add the boiling water, not quite covering the mixture. Simmer for about 25 minutes or until the meat is tender. Season with salt and pepper. Thicken the liquid slightly with a little flour. Line the sides of a deep baking dish with a thin layer of rich biscuit dough. Pour the meat and vegetable mixture into the dish. Cover with a thick layer of the biscuit dough. Cut a slit in the top crust so the steam can escape. Bake in a hot oven until the biscuit dough is delicately brown and crisp. Carrots, peas, string beans, and many other vegetables are good veal pie. It's the very place in feet to use up the leftovers. The point is to have the meat-vegetable mixture savory to the taste and with a touch of bright color to please the eye. For the Harvard beets, wash 6 medium-sized beets, cook them in boiling water until tender, remove the skins, cut the beets into thin slices or cubes. Mix 1/2 cup sugar and 1/2 tablespoon cornstarch. Cornstarch makes a much clearer sauce than flour. Add 1/2 cup of vinegar and let the sauce boil for 5 minutes. Stir the sauce constantly. Just as you take the sauce from the fire, add 2 tablespoons of butter. Pour the sauce over the beets. Let them stand on the back of the stove for a few minutes so that the beets may absorb the sweet-sour flavor of the sauce. Next, Peach Dainty. Seems to me I've mentioned this dessert before. Really, it's worth mentioning several times. Try it and see. To make Peach Dainty, you will need 1 quart sliced peaches, 1 cup sugar, 2 egg yolks, 2 tablespoons butter, 1 pint whipping cream, a few grains of salt. Cream the sugar, butter, and yolks together. Add the whipped cream and sliced peaches. Serve over angel or sponge cake. Shall we check the menu? Veal pie, Harvard beets, string beans, fresh or canned, lettuce salad, and peach dainty. If you have listened in all week, you are entitled to this week's menus and recipes. Just write the station for Aunt Sammy's Radio Recipes. Your request will soon reach me in Washington, and I'll send you all recipes and menus already mentioned this fall. Then from week to week, you will receive additional ones, or loose leaves, which may be added to the book. And while you're writing, be sure and tell me how you like the chats and ask a good question or two. Let me know what you think of them.
This broadcast was researched and produced by BreakAway Empire LLC.